Well, storm tracker off the radar, still picking up rainfall across much of north central Louisiana and to far southern Arkansas. Last of the storms are moving east, but residual showers will continue to fill in behind this cold front as we work through the late night hours tonight. Those showers will continue through mid-morning tomorrow as lows bottom out in the low into the 40s overnight. We will see skies clear as we head through the afternoon tomorrow. It won't be much of a warm-up, though. Highs returning to the low 50s. That's your forecast first. NBC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Live from your local news leader and the Spirit of Community Award winner, this is NBC 10 News at 6.
Right now, the final showdown as Governor John Bel Edwards and Eddie Rispone go head-to-head for the only debate before runoff elections. And social media causes a man to come forward after plowing down a school sign. We tell you why police say any crime is a big deal. Plus, kids will soon hit the streets for a trick-or-treat. We have the tips and tricks every driver needs to know. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chelsea Jones. Well, tonight is the big night for Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards and his Republican challenger, Eddie Rispone. The two will face off in a debate in just an hour. Tonight's debate will be the only head-to-head event ahead of the November 16th runoff. Rispone, a businessman, is making his first run for public office, but announced that he will not participate in any other proposed forum. Edwards was forced into a runoff after he failed to get over 50% of the vote in the primaries. The race is drawing national attention from Republicans who want to oust Edwards and Democrats who want to hold on to their only governorship in the Deep South. A Monroe man has been arrested for attempted murder. This after a shooting on Breesy Circle. When officers arrived, they found a man who had been shot in both legs. The victim was taken to the St. Francis Medical Center for treatment. The victim identified the shooter as 39-year-old Larry Beavers. According to the victim, he and Beavers had a fight, and when it ended, he tried to walk away, then Beavers shot him. A witness also confirmed that story. Beavers is in the Ouachita Correctional Center on one count of attempted second-degree murder. And the Monroe Police Department is searching for a man accused of carnal knowledge of a juvenile. They've issued an arrest warrant for Jeremiah Cox. Cox has ties to the south side of Monroe and Richardson Drive in West Monroe. Detectives have not been able to find him at any of the previous addresses that he's lived at. If you know where he is, call Monroe Police at the number you see on your screen. Monroe Police also needs your help finding two missing teenage girls. They think they are together and may be hanging out in South Monroe. Take a look. They've been searching for 14-year-old Keely Christine Ballard and 17-year-old Alexis Ariel Landry. Both were last seen Monday around 5 p.m. in the 1400th block of South 4th Street. Police say Landry may not be wearing her glasses, and her hair is now black and shaved on both sides. If you see them, contact Monroe Police. A school crossing sign in Sterlington damaged. Now police say someone's turned themselves in after seeing the story online. But as NBC 10 CJ Macklin tells us, there was some social media wondering why police were spending valuable time looking into a small busted sign. CJ?
Sterlington Police Chief Barry Bonner says a man came in because of a Facebook post, and the chief says you would never guess on who told them about the mangled sign.
Mayor, matter of fact, is the one who brought to my attention that it looked as though we may have had an accident down there that wasn't reported. Went and checked it out, and found that the school crossing sign had been ran over.
This crossing sign was ran over yesterday at the corner of Harvey and High Avenue in Sterlington. Chief Bonner took pictures of the area and posted it on Facebook. And the chief says the person who did it saw it online.
The individual, he saw it himself and realized that, I guess just the best thing to do would be go ahead and come on in and explain what happened and the like. So, and he did, so everything worked out.
This sign is just down the street from Sterlington Middle School and across from Sterlington Manor Apartments. A lot of people on social media have been commenting about this situation. Some liked what the chief posted, and others thought that he should be worried about bigger things.
No matter how big or how small, something is, we treat everything the same. We want to find out what's going on and, just provide the safety that we can possibly, the most safety that we can possibly provide for the town.
This suspect cannot be named just yet. The person who turned himself in will be in court on December 20th for criminal damage to property. CJ Macklin, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Thanks, CJ. The women of the Ruston Church of Christ gave special gift bags to the Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Office. NBC 10's Isabel Albritton spoke with officials about why these unique gifts are how they're going to be used on the line of duty.
Chelsea, each bag is stuffed with a teddy bear and a fleece blanket. Officers keep a few furry passengers in their vehicles just in case they are called to a traumatic event and a child is involved. Although officers say they never want to need to give them out, it's nice to have them because they bring comfort to the children.
It's amazing just to see the kids' reaction. The first one I gave out, the kid was probably 3 or 4 years old, on the side of the interstate at night, scared to death, and it just gives them something to grab a hold of, and you can see the comfort in their eyes.
For this full story, you can visit our website at myraglamis.com to hear more about how these teddy bears impact both the kids and the community. For now, live in the Media Control Center, Isabel Albritton, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Thanks, Isabel. It's spooky season, so that means it's time to watch the roads for princesses and superheroes. With Halloween almost here, keeping kids safe is important. NBC 10's Hunter Release has the last-minute safety tips for parents and drivers who plan to hit the streets for trick-or-treat. Hunter?
Chelsea, the National Safety Council says children are more than twice as likely to be killed by a driver on Halloween. This is why officials are urging drivers to be extra cautious when driving in busy neighborhoods tomorrow night. Little kids dressed up as lions, tigers, and bears may be running around the street Thursday night, and for parents, keeping them safe during Halloween is a top priority. When driving around neighborhoods where kids are trick-or-treating, officials say it's best to be extra aware of your surroundings.
Slow down, stay off your cell phone. There's no need for that, especially with these neighborhoods that's going to be congested.
In 2017, the National Safety Council says October ranked number 2 in motor vehicle deaths, with Halloween seeing the highest number of deaths. So officials want parents to keep an extra eye out.
If there's sidewalks provided, they should utilize that. If they're not sidewalks provided, you're going to have to take extra precaution and slow down, be patient.
Following the speed limit and driving extra slow when kids are around is another reminder officials want to emphasize for drivers. As always, Halloween is meant to be a fun night for kids.
And they're worried about one thing, what's dropping in their bucket. That's it. They're not worried about anything else. And us as parents have got to make sure they're safe and have a good time.
The National Safety Council is also reminding parents to put reflective tape on their child's costume or carry around a flashlight so drivers can see them in the dark. Another way to keep kids safe is by giving them a glow stick to wear around their neck or candy basket, making them more visible to drivers. In the studio, Hunter Elise, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Thanks, Hunter. Have you completed most of your degree but are not sure whether to go back to school to complete it? There's a program that can help you finish it. And we're about to bring that to you right now because as Brian Briggs explains, he caught up with University of Louisiana officials who tell us why and how they can do it. Brian?
Well, Chelsea, Compete LA is a program within the University of Louisiana system that wants to help those who want to complete their higher education, but may not be able to. There are nearly 700,000 students across Louisiana that are eligible for this program. So far, it has been up and running for the last 6 months, with nearly 1,600 students already signed up. It already gives us the opportunity to reach that final step in completing their degrees.
It's a concierge service. It's designed to knock down all of the barriers that would prevent a working adult from coming back to school. We assign them a coach that will be with them from the minute they apply to school till they graduate and walk across the stage with that new degree.
Now, there's even an app that can guide you through the program. The University of Louisiana is also going to be partnering with local community colleges to encourage them to finish what they started. This would add about 1.5 million students to that nearly 700,000.
Thanks, Brian. Still to come, when NBC 10 News at 6 returns, a local veteran is making it his mission to serve other veterans just like him. We'll tell you why he says it's so important. Jared?
Cold front brings some of the coldest air we've seen so far this season later tonight and through the day tomorrow. Could also lead to freezing temperatures in some spots later this week. A full look at the forecast as NBC 10 News at 6 continues.
If you're addicted to painkillers like OxyContin or Vicodin, or you know someone who is, there is hope. Help is available. For help with addiction, including services covered by Medicaid, visit opioidhelpla.org.
When John Bell Edwards let thousands of criminals out of jail early, he put every life in danger. 25% have already committed more crimes. Crimes against children, violent assaults, 5 murders.
Jordan's killer was released after only serving 18 months, or 21% of his sentence.
I'll never forget the sound of that zipper opening up for us to be able to see Jordan inside.
Give his victims a voice. Vote no on John Bell Edwards. Paid and authorized by Make Louisiana Great Again.
From summer to winter, seasons change, and so should your drafty old windows. Up to 40% of all heating and cooling losses are window-related. The solution? Call the experts at Achievers Home Improvements. Let our 34 years of experience save you more. Upgrading your windows and doors. Super low financing is available with our 12-month same-as-cash comfort package. Achievers Home Improvements. We do it all. Visit achieversinc.com, the local guys.
Foy volunteered his time and talent to design and oversee the ballpark expansion so more of our kids could play team sports.
Mr. Foy was a longtime board member at the Boys and Girls Club and is always quick to volunteer in any capacity.
Foy led the design phase and supervised construction of the all-inclusive, nationally recognized Smiles Park here at Caroli.
Hi, I'm Foy Gadberry, a common-sense, conservative businessman, and I would appreciate your vote.
When you're down for the count and there's no way out, call Sam. Call Sam. 'Cause there's things we can do to get you back on straight and true. Call Sam. Don't let it fall apart. Make that call, get a fresh start and call Sam.
Painkillers like OxyContin and Lortab can be highly addictive, and anyone who takes them is at risk. But there is hope. If you or someone you know is taking painkillers and can't stop, help is available at opioidhelpla.org.
Visit Antique Alley for open house Sunday, November 3rd from 1 to 5.
News at 6 continues.
A local veteran started a nonprofit to give back to his brothers and sisters who have bravely served our country. And this week's Pay It Forward morning anchor Anna McAllister tells us about Delta veterans and why giving back to our vets is so important.
The freedoms we wake up with every morning come with a price. Millions of soldiers fought for our country, and thousands of veterans live right here in Northeast Louisiana. Many of them struggle to adjust to civilian life when they return home, and they can't find the proper care they need.
Going to several veteran events and everything, I noticed that, there was some things missing.
Several years ago, Anthony Corkin saw that there was a need for better resources for vets.
A whole lot of groups out there that offer, free help to veterans, but you don't really hear about them. So this is kind of our way of helping to get the word out there, spread the message, and, so that way veterans and their families have easy access to the help that they need when they need it.
So Corkin started a nonprofit called Delta Veterans. It's an organization with an online directory to help vets find easy access to programs and resources like alternative health care and education. It's a cause that's close to Corkin's heart. He served our country in the Air Force for more than 18 years.
Coming back from deployment, I kind of struggled a little bit with the VA and the military, trying to get lined up with help and questions I had, so I started looking and said, there's got to be an easier way or something else out there.
And now he's looking to help vets just like him.
On behalf of the Jim Taylor family of dealerships, Hogan Insurance, and Twin City Outdoor, we are so happy to give you this.
Thank you.
Delta Veterans want veterans in need to contact them. They will direct vets to proper organizations and programs so they can get the care they deserve for serving the country they love. Reporting in West Monroe, Anna McAllister, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Delta veterans will be holding their resource fair at the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum Saturday, November 9th. There will be plenty of vendors offering their services and, of course, tons of resources for vets in our area.
And we appreciate them for their service.
Absolutely. What can we look forward to with this weather?
Rainy tonight, getting much colder, and trick-or-treaters will have dry weather tomorrow, but they'll need to bundle up. A full look at the forecast is NBC 10 News at 6.
Visit Antique Alley for open house Sunday, November 3rd from 1 to 5.
Thursday on NBC 10 Today, looking to improve your health and lose some pounds, we sit down with expert Dr. Gray.
And as trick-or-treaters take to the streets, we take a look at what's in store for the forecast this Halloween. That's tomorrow morning at 5 here on NBC 10 News Today.
Liberal John Bell Edwards. He pardoned or commuted nearly 200 violent criminals, including those convicted of murder, child molestation, and rape. Then too many struck again. John Bell Edwards, too liberal for Louisiana.
I work for Entergy.
And I'm committed to my customers.
That means reliable,
affordable power.
Every year, we save our customers millions.
Buying wholesale power at the lowest available cost.
New natural gas power plants ensure lower prices for years to come.
And we're giving you smarter technology to take control of your bill. Entergy Louisiana rates are among the lowest in the state and the nation.
And I'm making sure they stay that way.
Because together,
we power life.
I'm really angry at John Bell Edwards taking money from open borders extremists.
Free taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal immigrants. Edwards even opposed efforts to ban funding for sanctuary cities. And Edwards opposed President Trump's full immigration plan to secure our borders.
John Bell Edwards lied to the people of Louisiana. You've got to vote John Bell Edwards out.
Paid for by RGA Right Direction PAC.
With the all-new Silverado HD, Silverado's now the only truck brand that can offer trucks with best-in-class towing, or trucks with best-in-class camera technology, or larger, more functional beds than any competitor. The only truck that can compare to a Silverado is another Silverado. Or get a total value of over $9,500 on this Silverado with a larger, more functional bed than any competitor. Or during truck month, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Super Chevy dealer today.
Louisiana cannot take 4 more years of a liberal Democrat governor raising your taxes, killing your jobs, attacking your industries. You've got to vote John Bell Edwards out.
For something old or something new, Cottonport Antique Mall.
Storm Tracker Doppler Radar, sponsored by bankruptcy attorney E. Orem Young. Now, your local weather with Chief Meteorologist Jaron Floyd.
Look at the live storm tracker Doppler radar brought to you by E. Orem Young. Rain continues across the region, most of it across southern Arkansas and extreme north Louisiana. Also, the last of the storms have moved east across the Mississippi River, but residual showers across portions of Madison and Tensas parishes at this hour as well. Rain will continue to fill in off and on behind the front as we still have quite a bit of lift in the atmosphere. That'll help drive a lot of this rain as we go through the late night hours tonight. Not looking for hefty, extreme rain totals, maybe an extra quarter to a half inch of rain in some spots as those showers kind of drift in and out over the next 12 hours or so. Most of it gone by about mid to late morning tomorrow. Skies should clear pretty quick thereafter, but still expansive amounts of cloud cover in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Still a lot of lift in the atmosphere as the upper level components of the system start to kind of wipe the slate clean, so to speak, give us a much drier air to work with as we work through the latter part of the day tomorrow. But it's a process, especially with a frontal boundary that has so many working pieces. And also on that note, with a weak cold front with the cold front that is moving through our area, the colder air is kind of lagging behind, so it really won't punch in until a little bit later tonight. Still bringing some severe weather potential across portions of the Gulf coastline. We've got 2 different tornado warnings along the Florida Panhandle at this hour, but severe weather threats never really materialized in our area. Temperatures, again, 73 in Jackson. Lake Charles was at 83 during the 4 o'clock hour. They're down to 76. Houston's at 55 as they get ready to throw first pitch in Game 7 of the World Series later tonight. 50 in Little Rock, 42 in Fort Smith, 36 in Tulsa. So again, a little bit closer to home, zoomed in. 49 in Texarkana, 63 in Camden, and 63 in El Dorado and Monticello. So not really cooling off much just yet. That cooler air rushes in tonight. Winds will be breezy. I think this is a little overdone in terms of temperatures. I think we'll stay a little bit warmer, really owing to the fact that we'll have increased moisture and cloud cover that'll probably keep us in the low to mid 40s through much of the overnight. Could we see upper 30s in South Arkansas? Yeah, it's a possibility, but I think at that point the rain will have wrapped up. Low 50s, mid 50s for afternoon highs. Wouldn't be surprised to see some spots struggle to get out of the 40s through the day. Trick-or-treating tomorrow night. It will stay breezy with those winds out of the northwest, and expect temperatures primarily in the 40s as you send the kiddos out and about through the neighborhoods to get that candy tomorrow night. So again, maybe we want to throw some extra layers underneath the costumes or over the top, whatever whatever needs to be done to keep them warm as they head through the late night hours tomorrow night. Freezing temperatures are at least near there for Friday morning, and then the general warming trend continues thereafter, getting us back into the 50s and the 60s, perhaps even into the 70s by the middle part of next week. So low 40s tonight. Again, rain continues. Winds breezy out of the northwest between 15 and 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Highs tomorrow, low 50s with showers early, but the skies should clear pretty quickly. I would say mid to late morning, lunchtime by the very latest. So again, look for clear skies tomorrow night for all of our trick-or-treaters. That's a little bit of good news, and also a little bit of a plus side. With such strong winds expected across the area, we're not looking for much in terms of fog development, which would limit visibilities and cause some road hazards with all the kids out and about trick-or-treating. So that shouldn't be an issue either. Upper 50s for highs on Friday, but look for those morning lows near the freezing mark as you head out and about Friday morning.
Well, freezing is a little bit daunting for me.
Yes, and for gardeners too. They may want to, like I said, cover their plants or just kind of take proper precautions for one night of near freezing temperature.
Just one night, y'all. Just one.
For now.
All right, thanks, Jared.
You bet.
Well, sports and snacks, we'll chat about Grambling's quarterback situation, plus big game ahead for rivals in Northeast Louisiana, and one Arkansas school recaps their huge win. Sports is 2 minutes.
Come celebrate fall at Bayou Trade Days in Lakeshore. There's no telling what you'll find at this indoor and outdoor flea market. From antiques to novelties, jewelry, clothing, and much more. There's even homemade food, a farmer's market full of fresh produce, and free parking and admission. Come see Mr. and Mrs. Keith at Bayou Trade Days in Lakeshore and find great stuff at great prices. Open November 1st and 2nd. More information on Facebook and at BayouTradeDays.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marshall Sanson of Sanson Family Medicine in West Monroe, Louisiana. You now have lots of choices for walk-in clinics here in town, so why choose us?
We have some of the shortest wait times in town with a friendly staff to help take care of you.
If you've not been to our clinic, come by and give us an opportunity. Once you have, you will not want to go anyplace else.
Our family taking care of your family. Sanson Family Medicine.
Thanks to Governor Edwards expanding Medicaid, I didn't have to choose between getting cancer treatment or going bankrupt. Now I'm working full-time again and can afford private insurance. But his opponent's plan would take health care coverage away from hundreds of thousands of working people who need help just like I did. You may not have to vote like your life depends on it, but know that someone's does.
Gifts, gifts, gifts. We have them all at Gift Gallery in the Twin City Mall, just down from Piccadilly next to Spartan Adventure Park. Come by and see our complete line of gift ideas. Candles, oils, Christmas villages, Department 56 Santas, snow babies, Jim Shore, and many other collectibles. Plus, get free engraving while you wait on all of our engravable products. Gift Gallery, the place for all your gifts.
News sponsored by Communa Health Services. New name, same quality care. Now, your local sports with Chris Demersion.
A homecoming date for Grambling with Texas Southern is a few days away. There were quarterback questions entering GSU's date with UAPB. Broderick Fobbs answered them by starting Jeremy Hickbottom. In the win over the Golden Lions, he accounted for 269 total yards, including one rushing and one passing score. He was on fire, but it came after a slow first quarter.
Majority of Jeremy's mistakes is he's very competitive and he's trying to do more than he needs to do. And sometimes, you know, a bad play is just a bad play, and sometimes a defense makes a good call and you just have to throw it away, or you have to, throw it at the receiver's feet or what have you, and then go on.
In high school, big game in Class 4A, 7-1 Bastrop versus Neville on Friday. Neville had a chance to relax following their open date last week. Recently, they ended Minden's 5-game winning streak. Quarterback Andrew Brister threw 3 touchdown passes that covered 50-plus yards. The Rams defeated Minden last Friday, ironically. For the 3rd straight week, they held an opponent to a touchdown or less.
Oh, man, they're huge up front on the defensive line. They're very active in the secondary, and offensively they can attack you with the ground game or they can attack you through the air.
Good athleticism again, Chris. They're certainly are handing the ball to some talented running backs, have some nice receivers that are making big plays for them. The quarterbacks played well, and their offensive line has improved.
CrossFit football keeps rolling. Their latest win over longtime rival Hamburg. It was their first win over the Lions since 2009. Overall, the Eagles are 5-0 in Region 8 4A conference play. Another notable win, defeating Warren for the first time in nearly 30 years. Coach Sonny Nason explains what's clicking in Ashley County.
They're special. I mean, I knew that probably when we were in the weight room last offseason, you know, in November and December. It's a great mix. You know, you've got 20 seniors, you've got 20 sophomores, and you got a sprinkling of some very good juniors in there, very good ball players. And so it's you know, just a great mesh, and some guys has been through the wars with me for 4 years.
All your high school football needs on the kickoff after World Series coverage in Fox 14 News at 9 over on Fox 14. Chelsea and Jared up next on Channel 10.
11 teens die every day as a result of texting while driving. Don't be a statistic. Sign the pledge at notextarclimits.com. Brought to you by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
Give your family the comfort and reliability you want and lower your energy bills with the fuel that can do it all, propane. People across America trust propane to power everything that transforms a house into a home. Premium performance and lower energy bills. Propane can do that.
Family owned and operated since 1952. Depend on O'Neill Gas to handle all your propane needs. From our home to yours, O'Neill Gas.
If you're searching for a friendly and affordable place to service your RV, look no further than Clay's All-in-One RV Service Center. Storm damage, roof damage, insurance work. We do it all with a fast turnaround. If you rub the roof of your RV and it comes back looking like this, then you need a UV protective renewal coating, which will vitalize your roof for years to come. We have one of the largest parts departments in Northeast Louisiana, and our staff is qualified to service almost any RV. Clay's RV. We make happy campers.
Selfie?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What?
I think I forgot to lock my Buick. Got it.
At least your Buick's locked.
At the heart of every Buick Encore is you. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2019 Buick Encore for around $199 per month. Or get just over $4,300 below MSRP on this 2019 Buick Encore Preferred.
See your Monroe area Buick dealer.
I think most who know me will tell you that I don't run negative campaigns. I run campaigns based on facts. Here's what you need to know. Jay Morris has authored or supported 17 bills that increase taxes for businesses and consumers. My record on keeping taxes lower for businesses is out there for anyone to see. But you can't rely on a foreclosure lawyer running for a Senate seat to be the source for the truth. I think you'll agree, we don't need any more pro-tax lawyers in the Senate.
Next DT, we're celebrating the holidays early with Henry Golding and Amelia Clark.
So what do the mother of all dragons and a crazy rich Asian have in common?
Starring in a romantic movie together.
That's good.
Oh, and of course co-hosting Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah. Next DT.
The Animal House is your local pet store. Cypress Street, West Monroe.
Quick look at the 7-day forecast shows afternoon highs topping back out most spots in the low 50s tomorrow. It will get much cooler overnight, breezy, rainy. Be careful on the roadways. Visibilities may be a little limited with road spray and just a little patchy drizzle and off and on rainfall through the nighttime hours. Upper 50s for highs on Friday. Again, two big notes. Temperatures likely in the 40s for trick-or-treaters tomorrow night. Temperatures near freezing on Friday morning with a general warm-up as we head through the first of next week.
So beware of the kids and make sure you have that extra layer of clothing, right?
Wow. Good idea. And like I said, just give it a little extra time in the neighborhood and ride those brakes. Be careful with the kids tomorrow night.
Exactly. You heard it here first. Okay. Well, that's going to be up for us tonight at 6. So join us back tonight at 10 for 10 at 10 on 10.